I have no idea what happened. My feed just went out. I don't know. Maybe was I talking about some controversial people not making the 75 greatest players? I have no idea. But we are back live at it again. I don't know what happened here. That is so funny. That's hilarious. My feed just went out. But I am back. I am back. So we were talking about, and hopefully we'll get both of these videos up and running. But again, my apologies for that. Don't know what happened, but hey, we move on. That's what happens when you go live. Things like that happen, but it don't stop me. So we were talking about the players in the 75th anniversary NBA's anniversary team. We were talking about those players because I read the 25 players on the last video who were on the team. They took the 50 greatest players 25 years ago. They just continued them on to the team, so they added 25 more. So I talked about the players that really got jerked. Those players who didn't make the 75 greatest players in NBA history. And I was talking about Dwight Howard. Now again, Dwight Howard, and I want to respond back to, I know Chris, we had him early. He says we talked about Bernard King first before Dwight Howard, but Bernard King, I know Chris came on, and hopefully come back on, Chris. Talked about how not enough wins for Bernard King. Yeah, we got to see what the criteria was, because if you're matching up Bernard King with like the talent and some of those people that were in there, I think he stacks up. I know he stacks up with those players. So we'll see about that. But I'm talking about Tracy McGrady before we were rudely interrupted. But that's okay. So, Tracy McGrady, not Tracy McGrady, pardon me, Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was a player for one stretch, like 8 or 9 years. Tracy McGrady was that guy. He was that guy, man, who, he held it down. Defensive Player of the Year, rebounding king, in the top 3 teams, first, second, or third team for that stretch. Led his team to a championship, a team that I can't even mention. I can't even remember the starting 5, but I know Dwight Howard was part of that engine. He was the engine that made it run. But he was left off that team, and it could have been, with the basketball writers, because I think it was basketball writers who selected these. Might have been some personalities as well, maybe people who are in the Hall of Fame, people who voted on this, but Dwight Howard is a flaky guy, I guess some would say. Did that rub some people the wrong way? But I think he's a guy who definitely should have been in there. Okay? Now you got T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. There was one, I don't know if people can remember, but people used to say, man, who's better, Kobe Bryant or Tracy McGrady? You guys remember those conversations? They did take place. We knew what the outcome was on that one. But Tracy McGrady, not enough. Like maybe in this case here, Smooth, if you're listening, probably not enough wins. I know he made first, second, and third teams. I don't think he got an MVP of the league with scoring titles and all that good stuff, but more body of work to get you on the 75, and he wouldn't make it. And my biggest one who should be in here is Grant Hill. People got to realize there was a 5-year stretch that Grant Hill had before he got injured, before his injury started to amass. A lot of times, and people got to remember, you got to go back there, take a look at it, Google that, man. This guy was being compared so much to Jordan. People thought he was the next one, but that was a stretch, man. He made the top, I think he was in the top 3, teams in the NBA each year in that 5 or 6 year run. And and if he didn't get injured, like a guy like a Bill Walton who was on this list. Okay, I'm gonna go over Bill Walton in a second, but I think Grant Hill, everything stacks up for him for being that guy, because Grant Hill was that guy for that stretch. And because of that, you're seeing that because he was just elected to the Hall of Fame as well. But I think a guy like Grant Hill, if he wasn't injured, but I think he did enough to get on this top 75 team. I think he did enough. Now, I want to talk about the 3 players, in my opinion, that are on this 75 anniversary team but should not be on this list. And this might be controversial, but here we go. All right. Number one, the first one I believe is Wes Unseld. Now, Wes Unseld, great rebound or what have you. I think Wes Unseld averaged a career under 10 points a game. But the one thing I'll give Wes Unseld is he is the creator of the outlet pass. I mean, hey, people who know basketball, play basketball, this guy revolutionized the outlet pass from a rebounding to the guard point of view, getting it out there, leading the guard to have go get it. He revolutionized the outlet pass. Now, does that get you as the top 75 players? Yeah, that got you top 50. But maybe I think in this case, the great Wes Unseld should have been taken off this case, taken off this particular team. And I see his son is doing such a good job in Washington, Wes Unseld Jr. He's doing his thing. So, you know, he's keeping his dad's name alive. But I don't think he should be on this team. Second person who I think should not be on this team is Bill Walton, like I mentioned earlier. Now, Bill Walton, career decimated with injuries. Again, granted, he got a championship. He won an MVP. And then he won another championship with the Celtics on the back end of his career, you know, the back nine of his career, but riddled, ravaged with injuries. Very similar to Grant Hill. Very similar to Grant Hill. Only thing that Grant Hill, you know, doesn't have a title or titles like him, but very similar careers in terms of injuries. Now, Bill Walton is probably the greatest, one of the greatest players to ever play college basketball. I'll give you that. But the 75 greatest players, no, I don't think so. You gotta take a guy like these two guys off of there to make rooms for your Grant Hills, your Dwight Howards. And then this third person I'm about to mention, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats. I think this guy, and I will argue this point till the cows come home, because I think this young man shouldn't even been in the top 50. He made that team, and now he's in the top 75 because the carryover. And that is the beloved Scottie Pippen, okay? I do not think that Scottie Pippen deserves to be in the top 50 all-time greatest players. The way they had the criteria, I can understand him getting in with the top 50 because you had to take 10 players of each position. And he was a small forward, so obviously I guess they put him in there. But top 75, Scottie Pippen, he has to come off that list. Scottie Pippen is a guy who, until he knew his role. He knew his role was robbing. Everybody in that top 75 are Batman types. Okay, we're the men. All right, statistics, everything shows up. Scottie Pippen was more like Robin. He knew his role as Robin. He knew he was Robin. You know, there are no Robins in this top 75 team, but there is one with Scottie Pippen in there. Scottie Pippen is not a 75 greatest player to ever play the game. He had an opportunity to be a Batman when Jordan went out for those 2 years. We saw what happened there, okay? We saw what happened, you know, do Batmans refuse to go in the game because the play's not called for them? And then he sits down, you know, and refuses to go in the game, and Kukos hits the winning shot? You ever seen Batman? You ever seen a Batman or Superman? Ever seen somebody like that? Or Wonder Woman? If you're going to take it to women, have you ever seen somebody do something like that? No. With that alone, I think that gets you out of the list, personally. That's just my take on it. But a guy like Scottie Pippen does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Pardon me. Woo, sorry about that. Not the Hall of Fame. He is a Hall of Fame player. Definitely a Hall of Fame player, a mortal player. But he does not deserve to be on the top 75 team anniversary, nor the top 50 anniversary. And again, we got to look at the criteria. You know, we were just talking with Chris a little earlier before we cut off. But we don't know what the criteria was. But I think the criteria this go around was probably, you know, did you win MVPs? Did you go deep in the playoffs? Did you win games? Did you win conference, conference titles? Did you win playoff games? Did you win titles? Were you a first team, second team, or third team player? Did you win MVPs? Did you win Defensive Player of the Years? Did you make your team better? Were you a revolutionary player? You know, I think Scottie Pippen was a hell of a player. Don't get me wrong, bro. The most versatile players that ever played this sport. Okay, but on this 75 team anniversary team here with the NBA, these are all Batmans on this team. There's no Robins, but you got a couple of Robins, and you got this one Robin here in Scottie Pippen. So I think Scottie Pippen got the spot that somebody should definitely have. And I throw a wild card in there too, and everybody could look up this guy. And this guy was a hell of a player. And Felicia says, oh, I disagree. I'm a Scottie fan. Well, I got you, Felicia, but the stats hold up. I mean, the stats, if you compare I'll tell you this, Felicia. If you compare his stats with the people I mentioned from the Grant Hills of the world, Dwight Howards, even Vince Carter, these dynamic players, and one other person I was going to mention was Sidney Moncrief. Here's another guy, phenomenal player, okay? But Scottie Pippen, in terms of statistics, they don't stack up with these people who are left off. They don't stack up, especially with a Grant Hill. They don't stack up. You know, Grant Hill was doing stuff that Pippen was doing before he got hurt. You know, so sorry, Felicia. I'm sorry, but I gotta say bye, Felicia, on that one, Felicia. So you know, Scottie Pippen should have been left off this team. Nothing against Scottie Pippen, one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. You know, he is the greatest Robin you would ever see. I mean, he was great. He was a great player. He was a complimentary player. You know, Jordan wouldn't have his titles without Scottie. Okay, and obviously Scottie wouldn't have the titles without Jordan. So they're very synonymous with each other. But for your top 75 players to ever touch a basketball in the NBA, I feel Scottie Pippen should be removed from this list. They should have got him off that top 50 list. They did. They made a mistake on that. They kept him. So there you go. So that's my take on that, ladies and gentlemen. That's my take on that. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Again, when you have lists like this, like the greatest, you know, top 50 players, top 75 players, your top 5 MCs, you're always going to have some snubs out there. You're always going to have people that got robbed or got jerked, you know. So those players that I mentioned, especially those Grant Hills of the world, Dwight Howards of the world, man, oh man. These players got jerked, and some people should be removed off, like Scottie Pippen. And I'll argue anybody with that about Scottie Pippen. I will argue anybody on Scottie Pippen making the 75 and the top 50. I'll argue with anybody or debate. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to debate. We can debate anytime with that, okay? We can definitely do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we were able to make you laugh, smile, or think during this broadcast, my good friends, you have accomplished something major today. So celebrate your victory. Celebrate your victory. As I'm going to play in my stash of music, but I can pull it up here because we had a little technical difficulties, and sometimes these things happen beyond your control, but that's okay. That's okay. So let's do this here. Theme music. Coming soon. Here we go. That's right. Perfect. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Transition Tuesdays each and every Tuesday. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. And you can check out our past episodes right here. Well, here, obviously you can do that when I post them. But you can go to our YouTube channel, which is called Transition Tuesdays. And do me a favor. When you're on the channel, please like it and subscribe, okay? Very important. That will help me out a great deal. I would love for you guys to do it. So check out our past interviews and past episodes as well. And you ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, you can follow me on Instagram or IG at Russ Will Transitions. That's Russ Will Transitions with an S. Follow me there. And I want to give a major shout out, okay? I want to stop the music. Let me stop the music. Stop the music. I want to give a major shout out to you, and you over there, and you over there listening, and you over there, the Transition Army, okay? For joining the show with us. Going through the technical difficulties. We're back though. Second video. It's all good. So I thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Transition Army. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's continue on. Here we go. Right. So there. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, again, I want to shout out to our sponsors. Okay, again, we have Native Of as our sponsor. Native Of, founded by entrepreneur Malik Means. Okay, Native Of is the signature brand of everything cool and conscious in the t-shirt and hoodie universe. So it's known for its inspiring logo and fit. Native Of will take your fashion game to the next level. So make sure you head to nativeof.com. That's NATIVEOF.com. Or you can find them on Instagram, IG at _Native Of. Okay, you can do that and get your meaningful, powerful merch today. Make sure you go there, all right? Also, we got a second sponsor. Now, when we have guests of Transition Tuesdays receive a candy gift pack, compliments of our sponsor, Sweet Candy Cafe. Now, Sweet Candy Cafe is the home of Southern Sweetness, located in downtown Lumberton, North Carolina. So after the show, ladies and gentlemen, the second show here, but after the show, little homework assignment, okay? I want you to go to sweetcandycafe.com to order all your confectionery goodies, okay? And also keep in mind, Sweet Candy Cafe, they ship home and abroad. So there's no excuse. You can get your sweet goodness, Southern goodness, anytime online, and they ship it to you right away. So you got to do this, ladies and gentlemen. Again, that's Sweet Candy Cafe, because as you guys know, we celebrate small businesses here on Transition Tuesday. So make sure you do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, I apologize for the technical difficulties, but I'm glad you retuned in with me on the show. And again, as we say in party, happy transitioning. We'll speak to you soon. Take care, everybody. God bless to you.